Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Before the Kickoff podcast. The first round of the NFL playoffs has come to an emphatic end. It was kind of, I wanted a little bit more, but it was still great to see the playoffs once again, wasn't it, Chase?
Yeah, it was, but half the games sucked. There's only one good game in this playoffs, and only one good moment where Ray Lewis danced after that QB kneel. That's it. That was it about this playoffs. I think that's the only thing I'm going to remember from this playoffs, for the first round at least.
Yeah, it was kind of but we do have divisional round coming up, and that tends to be the best round.
Mm-hmm.
Last year we saw the Saints and 49ers, which was pretty much the best game all year round. Debatably with the Steelers, Broncos, which are the first week, but still a great game.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't we get into the games? We go back to the Broncos. We go back to Denver, and it is the Baltimore Ravens facing the Denver Broncos. The Ravens defeated the Indianapolis Colts last week 24-9. Ray Lewis has said that this will be his last ride. Chase, who do you see winning this one?
In all honesty, from what I'm looking at here, it just seems like Baltimore is kind of already saying this is Ray Lewis's last game. What people are putting this out there is that it's going to be the last game. It almost feels like that. And I don't want it to be the last game for Ray Lewis or the Ravens. I actually think they have potential to surprise some teams. It's the playoffs. Anything can happen in the NFL playoffs. And in all honesty, the Ravens have a chance to maybe upset the Denver Broncos. But right now, the Broncos have just looked like a stellar team. But maybe this bye week, maybe it could affect the Broncos in some way. We've seen first seed teams in the past couple years. The Falcons from 2 years ago, the Green Bay Packers last year. They were a first seed team, and they lost in the first round. Then again, that's on the NFC side. But I digress. I still think the Ravens have a fair chance in this game. But in the end of it all, the Ravens against Peyton Manning have not been so good. And I really do feel like Peyton Manning and the Ravens defense will be the difference makers. But I still think the Denver Broncos will win. But I think it will be much closer than what people are expecting.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little against the grain. And I may be the only one of our writers to pick this. And you can check our picks up beforethekickoff.com. I may be the only writer to go here. But I just have one of those feelings. And let me explain where this feeling is coming from. I just think that the way Ray Lewis has really corralled this team, and yesterday was again that Ravens defense that I love so much, the hard hitting that you may get to the 10-yard line, let's say, but they will not let you get in that end zone. They will stop you. You will only get field goals. That was a defense that I love to see, and it was once again shown yesterday. Yesterday. We're recording this on Monday. But, I just really think that Ray Lewis will once again find a way to get his team ready to beat the Denver Broncos, to go to Denver and win this game. But more importantly, I think Joe Flacco is going to help the Ravens win this game. I don't know what it is. But when Joe Flacco gets into the playoffs, he is a different quarterback.
Yeah.
Did you see those throws to Anquan Boldin? I know some people like Skip Bayless may say, Joe Flacco just threw it up to Anquan Boldin. I say no. I say it takes guts and accuracy to throw it deep, and that's what Joe Flacco possesses, and he does it magnificently in the playoffs. He's doing it again, and I expect him to do it one more time against the Denver Broncos. Now, I'm not saying that the Ravens defense will completely shut down the Denver Broncos. I'm just saying they're going to do a good enough job to win the game. It's probably going to be about 27-24 Ravens. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I agree with Joe, what you said about Joe Flacco. I think, in the regular season, people crap on Joe Flacco for a lot of bad reasons. And a lot of people, even though the Texans, for some reason, are still a lot of favorites in a lot of people's eyes, do we not forget that Matt Schaub had struggled against the Colts defense? This Colts defense is not the Colts defense from last year. That was a totally different Colts defense you were seeing out there. And Joe Flacco, it's not like he has elite weapons at wide receiver. He has Torrey Smith, who is still developing into being a good wide receiver, and he has Anquan Boldin, who is not the same Anquan Boldin when he came into the NFL in 2003. you're totally right about Joe Flacco there, and he plays great in the playoffs, and I wouldn't be surprised as a bold prediction that even win or lose for the Ravens, Joe Flacco outplays Peyton Manning.
Yep, absolutely. Now let's move on to the game that will be later that day between the Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. The Packers found a way to beat the Minnesota Vikings. Well, they didn't really find a way because it was pretty easy once Joe Webb was named the starter for the Minnesota Vikings. And they're going to go face the San Francisco 49ers, who are now starting Colin Kaepernick at quarterback. It will be Colin Kaepernick's first game as a starting quarterback. Chase, will he bring it home?
You know, I've been debating against this pick between the Niners and the Packers every single day when it comes down to thinking of picking a game. And originally I was going for the San Francisco 49ers. But then I remembered while watching the first game between the Packers and the 49ers, I realized why they won that game. Aaron Rodgers did not touch the football that much that game. If you look at the time possession held by the Green Bay Packers, it wasn't that much. And why was it that they were able to keep Aaron Rodgers off the field? It was because Alex Smith was the quarterback. And I feel right now the 49ers defense, still a great defense, still a top 5 considered defense by popular consensus by fans. But I really do think that this defense has been exposed because of Colin Kaepernick and what the 49ers offense has done. Let's just put it this way. Colin Kaepernick, he's making the team get off the field much quicker than Alex Smith did. But with Alex Smith, the 49ers had all this talent around Alex Smith, made Alex Smith look like a god, looked like the Jets when Mark Sanchez had a bunch of talent around him. That's what it was. They were making, but with a better coach. They had a better coach that knows what he's doing. So Alex Smith, they could grind out like the 7 minutes of the first quarter and just got a touchdown out of it. That's great. And especially when you're going against a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, you want to keep that dude off the field. But with Kaepernick, I feel they have gone away from that type of game. They can't play that game. They like to play like a high-powered offense. And to me, the 49ers are not that type of team. And I really do feel now, I flip-flopped my pick. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers because I really do feel now, when it comes down to it, they won't be able to keep Aaron Rodgers off the field as long as they did when Alex Smith was playing quarterback. I'm not saying Kaepernick is a bad quarterback, but with Alex Smith, they're allowed to keep those players off the field. And that's what they need to do. And in all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers won. They are playing at home. But also the missing addition of all-pro defensive and tackle and Justin Smith is something that I think is a worry for the 49ers.
You see, with this one, we had a little talk about this yesterday. I'm really on the Packers bandwagon. I think Aaron Rodgers is once again playing as if he is the second best quarterback in the league, to Peyton Manning. But really challenging the first, to me. I mean, I came up with the quarterback rankings a while ago that had Peyton number 1, and I'm really starting to doubt that the way Aaron Rodgers has been playing. Maybe now that he has his hand warmer, he's back to the way he used to be. I don't know. But the thing is with that first game, the Packers were down pretty much immediately. I think they were already down when the game began like 14-0. They weren't able to run the football. And I know you're saying, oh, please, Packers running the football. They don't need to do that. Any team needs to run the football. And once you get down, that eliminates that, and the 49ers can leave about 5 players in the box. They don't have to worry about the run at all. They can just stack up that secondary, which is what they do well, and then they don't have to worry about that at all because Aaron Rodgers is going to have to go against that, and he's not going to do well against those 4 cornerback sets that the 49ers roll out. So I think let's say the Packers can get the ball first, win the coin toss, and then they can start getting, those passes, but then get those timely runs that get about 5 yards, and then keep the 49ers guessing. They're going to win the game, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. They don't even have to get the beginning coin toss. As long as they just find a way to not get themselves too far behind early, they'll get the win. Chase, it's time for your College Minute of the Week.
All right, College Football Minute. In Saturday news, Chip Kelly will once again skip on the NFL. Last year, he was going for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but declined, and this year he did the same. Cleveland and the Philadelphia Eagles were both interested in Coach Kelly's services, but he decided to go back to Oregon, and really, to be honest, I think that's a good decision for him. mainly because Oregon has a chance to win a national title next year, and it's something that I think Chip Kelly wants to complete before making it to the NFL. And other college football news, congratulations to the Alabama Crimson Tide, back-to-back since Nebraska in 95 and 96. Great run for Alabama this season. After that loss to Texas A&M, a lot of Bama fans thought it was over, but Alabama pulled through, roll Tide. Good job for Alabama, and I'm sorry, Notre Dame. I guess the luck of the Irish was not on your side. And that is my college football minute.
Thank you, Chase, for the college football minute of the week. And now it's time for a quick what are you doing moment of the week. And this goes towards the people that are pissed off at Mike Shanahan for keeping in RG3. Let me tell y'all something. 2 plays after RG3 supposedly snapped up his knee, he threw a touchdown pass. That should indicate to Mike Shanahan, hey, maybe this kid should go, maybe he should go. And let's not forget, 2 years ago, when Lovie Smith decided to pull Jay Cutler from the NFC Championship game, what were Bears fans saying? What was everybody saying? Lovie Smith made the bad decision. He should have kept Cutler in the game. He was just fine, blah, blah, blah. No matter what decision Mike Shanahan makes, unless they win the game, he will be bashed for it. And I am behind Mike Shanahan when he kept RG3 in the game. And that is the what are you doing moment of the week. Calm down, Redskins fans. Do not fire Mike Shanahan. Now let's move on to the Sunday games for the divisional round. We first have the Seattle Seahawks at the Atlanta Falcons, and we're going to have our NFC East writer, Chris Phoenix.
West.
Excuse me, I'm getting a little excited here. NFC West. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, so you guys all know we got the Seahawks going on the road, going to hot Atlanta, taking on the Atlanta Falcons. We all know about the Atlanta Falcons. They're the number 1 team in the NFC. Some people say they didn't deserve to be the number 1 team because, they didn't play all that well against teams like the Panthers and the Raiders, teams that, weren't really all that good this season. But nonetheless, they do have home field advantage throughout the, in the NFC going on to the Super Bowl. So, we all know Russell Wilson played a pretty good game, actually, last week, I thought. And Marshawn Lynch in that running game, again, did very well. I think the Seahawks had to think to themselves, we could have possibly lost that game if it wasn't for RG3's injury that he had. But, a win is a win, and their defense did look good. And I think that's going to be a big part in this game against the Atlanta Falcons. Can they hold Matty Ice? Can they hold the Atlanta Falcons? Because really, to me, personally, and I think some people can agree with me when I say this, the Atlanta Falcons do not have a running game. Michael Turner, he's not what he once was back in the day. Yes, they have Julio Jones. Yes, they got Roddy White. Yes, they have Tony Gonzalez. He's looking like the old Tony Gonzalez. But, if they stop Matt Ryan, it's going to be, I think it possibly could be game over for the Falcons because the Falcons, they're okay on defense, don't get me wrong, and I know this Seahawks team is young and they do have lack of inexperience, but guys, Russell Wilson already has one more playoff win than Matt Ryan. And this is the question, if hypothetically speaking, if the Falcons lose this game, what happens? What happens to Matt Ryan's future? Will people still question him like they did with Tony Romo with the Cowboys? Just saying. But honestly, I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to go with the Seahawks. I think they can and will beat the Falcons. And real quick, when you were mentioning about the 49ers and Packers, should be a good game, but I'm going to go with the Niners.
Chase.
When it comes down to this game right here, this game is just too interesting for me. First off, 2 hot receivers taking on 2 of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. That already gets me excited. Matt Ryan wants to prove himself. The Atlanta Falcons want to prove themselves that they are indeed a Super Bowl team. And this is the game for them to do it. And I really feel that they're kind of happy that they're getting the winner of Seattle versus Washington instead of Green Bay. Because I think Green Bay would have came down to Atlanta and did what they did last time they came down there. Just demolished them. But with this team right here, the Seahawks, Chris Clemens is out for the season, and that's going to be a huge blow for them, having Chris Clemens out for this game. But not to mention, I feel that the experience that the Atlanta Falcons hold is good enough for them to just get the win by the Seahawks. The biggest question mark is when Atlanta faces either 49ers or the Packers next week. That's when I'm going to start questioning if the Packers I mean, the Falcons are legit beat the Seahawks. Like a couple years back, remember when Chicago beat the Seahawks after the Seahawks upset the Saints, and everyone's like, yeah, the Bears are going to make it to the Super Bowl, only to get smacked down by Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? I'm not buying in if they beat the Seahawks. Obviously, the Seahawks are a good team. But once again, like we said, they're a young team. They're a good team. Atlanta Falcons have all the experience. I expect the Falcons to win this game. I expect them to win. And in all honesty, I see it that way. With the experience that they have, they should win. Russell Wilson's still a rookie. Let's not forget that, guys. He's not as big as Ben Roethlisberger. If this dude was like Ben Roethlisberger size doing this shit, I would choose the Seahawks. But he's like 6 foot tall, maybe 5'11". You know, he has a good arm. He's inaccurate at times. I mean, he's a great player, great talent. But right now, this great talent, it's not going to work out that well. But then again, let's not forget, Marshawn Lynch is a beast, and Atlanta's run defense is not that great. So, you know, that could be an interesting matchup there, and that could be a deciding key factor. But I think Atlanta should win this football game. There's no questions that they should.
I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons. Let me go into why a little bit. First, let me do a little flashback, okay? People love to bring up Matt Ryan's 3 postseason losses, and I'm nowhere close to being a Falcons fan, but I have to kind of defend Matt Ryan. His first playoff game, if you remember, was against the NFC champion Arizona Cardinals. And in this game, they actually got pretty close to winning the game against, like I said, the NFC West champions here. And that was his rookie year. So I'm not going to give him a lot of hate for that one. He played an okay game, but he did have 2 interceptions. But besides that, yeah. His second one, against the Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers. And there's no doubt, Matt Ryan was awful this game. There's no doubt about it. But he did lose to the Super Bowl champions. And last year, once again, he loses to the Super Bowl champions. Now, this year, will it be the same story? I don't know if the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. I don't even know if they're going to win the NFC. But this is a game he has to win. And if he doesn't win this game, then fine. I don't think you get rid of Mike Ryan, but I do think that you maybe should consider getting rid of Mike Smith or doing some major change-up, because that'll be 4 years. In 4 years now, they haven't won the playoffs in the last 5 years, which is pretty ridiculous. I just think that Matt Ryan is going to have enough. He's going to come out. He's going to beat the Seattle Seahawks. He's going to finish the game that the Redskins should have had this week, and he's going to get it done. Thank you, Chris, for chiming in. And we move on to the last game, the Houston Texans at the New England Patriots. If you allow me to go first on this one, I think it's about time. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots, and here's why. You see, the Houston Texans defense had a very good performance. Jonathan Joseph shut up his critics last week. J.J. Watt was J.J. Watt. But on to the offensive side, Arian Foster had a great game. But I'm going right to the quarterback position in Matt Schaub. Matt Schaub, as a quarterback, and trust me, don't even bring up his offensive line. The offensive line is one of the best in the league. His left tackle made the Pro Bowl. His right tackle almost made it to the Pro Bowl, so let's not bring that up. He has to do a better job in the shotgun, making these calm throws, 3rd down and long. If it is not 3rd down and long, the Texans just cannot find a way to get it done, and it just shocks me. I really don't know why. And a lot of the times it's just Matt Schaub making bad decisions. That interception was awful. It was the only touchdown the Cincinnati Bengals got all day. It kept them in the game. If it wasn't for that, if it was for better red zone efficiency, the Texans win that game easy. If they're going to have any shot, Matt Schaub has to complete 3rd and long, and I just don't see him doing that. I'm going with the New England Patriots. Who are you picking, Chase?
I'm also going with the Patriots here. Like I said, the Texans, I don't think we're going to see what we saw like that one Monday night game that was just atrocious to watch. I don't think we're going to see a repeat of that. But I really do think that it's going to be a much closer game. I don't know how much closer, maybe 14 points New England will have a lead by. I don't know. But I just, like you said, I don't trust Matt Schaub. Like, I trust Arian Foster. I know that kid's a baller. I trust J.J. Watt. He's a baller. Jonathan Joseph, against Brandon Lloyd that we're seeing this year, yeah, I'll trust him against Brandon Lloyd this year. But, like, everyone else, like, Wes Welker, what linebacker's going to cover Wes Welker? Wes Welker's going to dominate in the slot. Gronkowski, the Gronk, is back. Who could stop that Bama on the Texans? I can't see anyone trying to stop that dude. Hernandez, I can see some people, but not a lot. It's just, to me, I feel the Patriots are a complete team. Now, the Patriots defense is still a question mark. I don't care how good they've been playing as of late. They're still a question mark for me, and I really do feel that they could cost this game for the Patriots in crucial situations. But like I said, I don't see how the Patriots are going to try to keep this game super duper close. But I think it'll be much more closer than that Monday night fiasco we saw. It comes down to Matt Schaub. He cannot just be looking at Andre Johnson. And it also comes down to Kevin Walter and all those other boys that are the wide receivers for the Texans. Stop making it where Matt Schaub has to throw to Andre fucking Johnson every single play. Andre Johnson is a great talent, one of the best wide receivers in the league, but he cannot be thrown to every single fucking play. It's just ridiculous to me that they keep doing that, and I really feel that's why it's going to hurt them. They need more weapons for Matt Schaub for him to succeed. He's not an elite quarterback. Matt Schaub, he's like an upgraded game manager. Like, he can throw a deep ball unlike most game managers, but he's not really too much of a game changer. So, in all honesty, Matt Schaub, he's definitely an interesting quarterback, but I don't think he's going to lead the Texans to win this football game.
All right, everybody, that does it for the Before the Kickoff podcast. Make sure to comment down below. Make sure to check out beforethekickoff.com. Make sure to follow our Twitter. Make sure to like us on Facebook. Make sure to look in the description box for all of those links for everyone here at beforethekickoff.com. We're out. Make sure you check out our picks at beforethekickoff.com for the divisional round.